Okay, hello. My name's Alyssa Nordholt Dean, and I am the Director of Education and Public Programs for the Eiteljorg Museum. And I am here today with amazing artist, beadwork artist, Miami artist, Katrina Mitten. Hi, Katrina.
Hi, great
Um,
seeing you.
yeah. Why don't you start off just by telling us a little about yourself?
Well, as Alyssa mentioned, my name is Katrina Mitten. I'm a member of the Miami Tribe of Oklahoma, but I've lived my entire life here in Indiana, currently in my hometown of Huntington, Indiana, which is about 100 miles north of Indianapolis.
And tell us a little bit about your fantastic beadwork. I see some behind you.
It's a little bit behind me. You can see a little bit. And currently, I work in a style. It's called beadwork embroidery. It's a Great Lakes style or technique that I do where I'm beading the beads right onto the fabric to make the piece.
And what inspired you to pursue beadwork?
Well, because of who my family was and knowing about our tribe and about my family, but I wasn't really aware of the arts within our tribe because we here in Indiana had to assimilate uh, due to our people being removed from Indiana to reservations in Oklahoma. My family was allowed to stay here. So we assimilated into the culture, and the things that were lost, or I say they were just sleeping, of course, were our arts such as beadwork and ribbon work, and our language and other parts of our culture were kind of put to the side due to assimilation and trying to survive.
So, how did you then pick up the art of beadwork?
It's kind of crazy. I feel I think you're born an artist. I think all people are born an artist. They just have to find their niche or their medium that they're going to use or pursue. And when I was about 12 years old, I wanted to learn to do beadwork. I don't know. I had seen beadwork pieces at my grandmother's and around other people. So I think it's been a long time ago. It's been a little over 45 years ago. And I remember seeing a loom. So I went out back and I found two pieces of wood, old 2x4s, and a broom handle and some nails. And there you have a loom. So then I came downtown, which was a big deal to come downtown back then. There was a lady with a craft store who had what we called at that time love beads. They were the strands with all the different colors of beads. So I bought many of those and I cut them apart and separated the colors, and then did my first piece of beadwork, which I think I got the feeling when I think back, I think it was probably during it took me like 2 weeks, and I think it was during spring break of school. So I was able to just sit there and figure it out.
That's cool. Do you still have that piece?
No, I would do anything to still have that piece. I actually sewed it onto the back of a fringed leather jacket. Was the 70s. And then when I sold my Barracuda, I had a car later on. I had a Barracuda that I sold, and it was in the trunk.
Mm.
So somebody out there has the very first original Katrina Mitten.
And they probably will never know it.
No.
Do you have any tips for people who may be interested in learning beadwork?
Yeah, when I was learning, of course, I had to kind of figure it out myself. So it took a little while, but now you have YouTube and other things and books. They have lots of books on beading. So you can teach yourself by looking at those books and learning the techniques. But one thing I try to tell everybody is don't be afraid of making mistakes, because that can really hold you back. I know when I decided to go to college as an adult to art school, everything I was afraid to do it, thinking I wouldn't be doing it correctly. But any way you do your art is the correct way.
I
But
love that
also,
message.
yeah, also find, find other people that do it and talk to them and get their hints and their secrets from them.
And speaking of other people who do it, you have a few talented artists in your family, I know. Anyone interested particularly in continuing the beadwork tradition that you began?
All the grandchildren when I'm beading, then they're interested in it. But my oldest granddaughter, she was actually my apprentice for a while. She broke her arm, so actually her wrist. So she's not doing any beading and much of anything right now. But she was my apprentice with Traditional Arts Indiana program. So she became my apprentice. And the reason I wanted her, she was only 7 at the time. She'll be 10 in December. But I wanted to bring back that link of it being passed down from a grandmother to a child, or to, have it being passed down through the family. I didn't have that, other than it was passed down. I say my teachers were the beadworkers of the past who left their work behind so that I could see it and learn from them of what colors and designs they were using and how they were expressing themselves. So that's one of the main reasons I wanted Saya to become my apprentice in that program.
I'm excited to see her work when she's able to pick it back up.
Hopefully, maybe she'll be competing in some of the young artists categories.
That would be awesome. Where can we find your work?
Well, right now you can find it online at katrinamitten.com. I have pieces there. I'm not sure if you still have some at the museum store.
We do, yes.
And that's the only place I'm selling right now. The only shop that sells my work is the Idlejourg shop.
Yep, so I just confirmed, and we do have some of your pieces for sale in the store at the Idlejourg. We also have an incredible cradle board of yours upstairs in the gallery. So I know that people who are interested just in seeing your work in person can see it here at the Idlejourg, but probably in other museums as well.
I have pieces in the Smithsonian. I have a piece at the National Museum of the American Indian. I'm not sure if it's on display yet, but you can find it in their catalog online. And then I recently, this is kind of like new news, I sold my piece, the 10 Miami clans, original clans of the Miami people, to the Renwick Gallery with the Smithsonian in DC.
That's exciting. Congratulations.
That just came through. So it's big, hot news.
Wonderful. And I think we acquired a piece of yours, another piece several months ago, didn't we?
Yes, you acquired the
Missing and
murdered Indigenous women's bag. And you also have a otter bag that I did.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was donated by Stan Hurt
Mm-hmm.
to the collection. And there's also a piece, I have been waiting for you. And it's a child's dress and vest and moccasins and a bonnet that I did when I found out I was becoming a grandmother for the first time.
I remember that piece.
Yes.
I haven't seen it in a little while.
No,
so.
I haven't either. That was one of those things that I won the purchase award prize and boom, it was gone. And I didn't have time to take a picture. I had to wait till it was on display. So.
Well, since this video is going to be coming out close to Thanksgiving, can you talk a little bit about, as a Native person, what do you want people to know about Thanksgiving or the Thanksgiving holiday?
Well, just like anyone else, to me, Thanksgiving, that time frame, and everyone gets off of work and can gather with their family. Anytime you are allowed to gather together is very important. Have families together and remember who you are as a people. Now, for Native people with Thanksgiving, our story of that time is a little bit different. And I don't want to really get into political on the video right here, but I would really encourage people to maybe talk to other Native people, look online and see maybe a truer story from the perspective of Native people of what happened at that time.
That's a great suggestion. Thank you, Katrina. Is there anything else that you want to share?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sitting here in my new studio, which is all nice and white back here, and it's here in my hometown, and it's the Huntington Arts and Education Center that my daughter is the director of. So if you're ever in Huntington, come and see us here in Huntington, and it's a wonderful building. We have wonderful programming that's going to be happening that she's working on, and we had our first, this might be just for you ladies, I don't know, but we had our first artist in residence, which is really great. And he was from Egypt, and he did dance and, you know, played instruments for the kids in the community at the school. It was a virtual also, but we were allowed to put on 2 programs here. So it's always nice to learn about other cultures, and that's something that everybody like you're doing today. And yeah, everyone comes to the Idle Jorg to learn about Native people.